Well,
Yeah. And there's no wrong answers, of course. So
You're recording?
yeah.
Okay. Perfect. We'll go to the first questions.
take a minute or two. Sorry. And let us know if it's working, because
We want responses. It should pop up. Okay. Answers are coming in.
and it went away. Yeah.
Yeah, reading this question every day.
You guys are doing all 3 questions. So after you submit the first one, yeah. And it doesn't have to be a word too. I know on there it says a word, but yeah, a leader who communicates, that's a huge part of PM, of course. We want more people to submit it. There's genuinely no wrong answer, so whatever you put. Product customer bridge. Yes. Wants to achieve a goal. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll wait for 9 responses. Gotta submit something. Managing a work team, exactly. A leader and a visionary, yes. Okay, I want to look at the other questions. No response for this one yet? Y'all. What are you most worried for? Okay, let's look at it.
There we go. Yeah.
Becoming disorganized or having a lack of communication, that's a huge part. We're going to talk about our experience, of course. Not being able to communicate properly or misleading and wasting my team's time. Yeah. Talking to official as not profit and be able to correctly bring their visions to life. Additionally, communicating effectively with designers and developers. Having a bad team dynamic is something that they learn. Most excited for getting experience. Yeah. Come on, guys. I want more. I want more in this one. But back to the most worry as a PM, I would say myself, these were all like things that I was feeling when I was first getting into this role and learning about this role too. But this bootcamp, our focus is to really prep you for it and like tell you like the problems that you might face and how to communicate clearly. So we'll have a lot of that today. Oh, yeah. Yes. And I'll just say off front, my experience, what ended up being most exciting for me as a PM is building that relationship with my nonprofit. I had like multiple dinners with her and like meeting her in person, and we're still having that bond. So it was amazing last year. And then, yeah, what is a PM? I think you guys got basically the gist of it. So we'll just go into our actual slides.
Yeah, sorry. Loading tabs. It's a mess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Slideshow.
In the little slideshow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hopefully that goes to.
But yeah, as you can see, everyone is feeling the same thing, that it's not only you that you're worried about.
Oh, wait. There we go. Okay. Cool. Okay. So jumping in, what actually are the PM roles and responsibilities? Well, a lot of you actually got it pretty much on point. But one thing that I didn't see, and the best definition that you'll see online, generally speaking, is we are the voice of the user, customer, nonprofit. At the end of the day, our job is to understand the customer, understand the user, understand the nonprofit in this case, and be able to communicate that back in the form of documentation or other ways of communicating with the internal people. So like the tech leads and designers that you'll be working with, to create the product. But at the end of the day, we represent the customer. That's the biggest thing. Like I said, we communicate the problem, and the way that we do that is by managing these different teams. So by being in the middle of all of them. So you have the nonprofit, again, understanding the problem. You're going to be the one that's sort of facilitating the meetings, scheduling demos as the team around you, as the engineers and designers create things based on the conversations that you have with the nonprofit. You're going to be scheduling that, communicating with engineering as they do what are called sprint meetings, which we'll talk about, and design as they go through a platform called Figma, which we'll introduce you guys to, as they create these designs, making sure that everything works properly and it's what the client wants. So I'll give you an example. So my nonprofit that I worked with last year was the Paso Robles Food Co-op. That should be a C. Paso Robles Food Co-op. And this is what I was given last year as a PM in documentation, just, from Hack for Impact going into the intro call. So very bare bones and broad, you'll notice if you read it. Working towards growing membership to 500 members. Great. That's a great requirement, right? Okay. They need a mobile-friendly application to update their member portal, blah, blah, blah. It's very broad, right? So part of the job and what I wanted to emphasize here as I go to the next slide, I want to emphasize that when you're meeting with these nonprofits and also up front, you're going to be given very sort of ambiguous constraints. You're not necessarily going to be given, this is what I want you to build, and this is exactly how you build it. You're going to get clues, and you're going to almost have to be like their psychologist, trying to understand what they actually want and need to solve whatever problem it is that they're presenting to you. So what I did last year is with our tech leads is we created just out of nowhere a referral system where you could refer a friend or family member or whatever. And this was our sort of like solution that we came up with to grow that membership to the 500 members. So very out of the box creative solution, but it fits within sort of the constraints that the nonprofit is giving you. So you kind of have to get creative is what I'm getting at here. So a product manager's job to find user problems, decide the right solution, and guide the team to build it successfully in that order. Real world example as well, just so you have it. Everyone loves Spotify, at least a lot of people love Spotify. PM has to notice, for example, which people skip songs in their playlist. Why? Well, okay, user engagement. That's how the platform generates revenue. That's how they get paid. That's the bottom line. So they have to figure out why and decide what feature could potentially solve that problem. So you have to think sort of from like first principles, go to your engineers and design team, and then check with data, usage data on a big platform like that to see, okay, is this actually going to make a difference? Okay.
So we're gonna get more into what you're gonna be doing, who you're gonna be working. As you can see.
Oh, sorry. There you go.
There we
Okay, I was
go.
gonna say, yeah, so, you are gonna be, as Alex said, the main contact for the nonprofit. You are kind of like the middle ground between your team and the nonprofit, talking to both of them, communicating, keeping the project going. So you're gonna have 2 tech leads, 3 to 4 designers, and 8 to 10 developers under you. But with that said, the group should be more than 10, but that's okay. But that being said, you guys will be working together very synchronously, so it never feels that you have that many people that you're working with, and yeah, it's a really great time.
Yes.
And like we said, like where a PM fits in this whole role is with you. We're going to talk about this more next week, figuring out what the problem is, figuring out the solution of it, and going through making kind of an outline of what the product you will be building for them, communicating biggest part, and prioritizing and like scheduling the times to meet with your PMs. Meet with your nonprofits and tech leads and designers. That's kind of fall quarter for you. And empowering others, you might kind of be, we don't like to use the word like, oh, you're the boss and the leader of the group, even though you're scheduling everything, making sure the project is going well. You are very much working as a team together. So yeah, just you're trying to build a community. there.
I actually want to add on right here too, to emphasize the product requirement document. This is probably the most important thing you're going to learn as a product manager. And this is something in the real role a product manager actually creates also. Like this one is a document that will guide the designers and will guide the technical like engineers throughout like what do they actually need to build. So just keep in mind that's something that we're going to get into next week, but
Yeah.
very important concept.
Yes.
Sweet, and I kind of mentioned this briefly. Mostly for the onboarding and scoping is for the end of fall, where you'll be getting in teams with your tech leads and designers later into the boot camp. And you will have to email the nonprofit, talk to them, scope out what you'll be making for them and defining it, and then getting on board with your designers on how the design should start looking, all that. So it's very much the planning stage, making sure you have everything set, like the communication system of where everyone likes to, like Discord, Slack, Notion, something that's like goes for everybody, so you know, like everyone's connected and communicating. Yeah, and then
And then to just broad overview, because
Sorry.
wait, if you go
Yeah,
back,
My bad.
we don't want to get into too much detail and overwhelm you guys, but these are kind of like the other stages where in the start of winter quarter, you'll work on the PRD and the design, and then the development of design. So starting off communicating with the tech leads, there will be a midway demo, and you guys are in charge of that midway demo to the whole entire club at the end of winter quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, winter quarter, and then the final build testing and the final handoff, and another presentation to the whole club. So just something to keep in mind.
Oh, hang on. There you go.
did. And sweet. Now getting more into the nitty-gritty. Like we said, you'll be emailing your nonprofit and trying to make a call with them this fall quarter. Trying to make sure just to introduce yourself, get to know them. Like Eugene had mentioned, building a connection with them is really important because you will be working with them the entire year. So yeah, having a strong connection to make sure like they reply to you, you have a good connect, like you have just a good foundation with them. So yeah, we have some examples, but basically, we just noted down some stuff of like, before you call them, research about them, so you know, like, what their website looks like, what they're about, and, you guys will also get to research them before you choose the nonprofits you work with. So like, you know, whatever you're working with is maybe something that aligns with your belief or something. But yeah, we definitely want to help you through this boot camp, set up the tools of where you want to make your agendas and everything, and then an example of how you can reach out. Yeah, we just Alex put up his last year's of just introducing yourself, setting up a time. If you have any like calendar or something, like giving it to them, or just being like, hey, when are you free to call this week? And if they send availabilities, or if you have any, just list them in your emails.
And the best thing you can do, again, just as a supplement, might seem obvious, but try to prep yourself, and we're going to do our best to prep you guys on each of the nonprofits and all the work that we've been doing collectively over the summer to try to help you guys to learn about the nonprofits, because going into the call, that's the best thing you can do for yourself, for the team that you're going to be communicating with, and also the nonprofit. If they already know, like, oh, wow, you are already filled in on all this stuff, like you basically already have somewhat at least define the problem for me, that's great. You're going to make their job and your job a lot easier by doing that prep, and we're going to help you do that.
Before you go, I
Yeah.
just want to stop for a second. I know we spewed a lot of stuff at you guys. Any questions, concerns, anything coming in your minds? We're good?
Love it.
Continue.
Love it.
We have a huge activity coming up, so we'll just keep talking.
We'll probably give them a small break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tastes good?
Yes, thank
Thanks,
you.
though. Thanks, Sanjana.
Yeah.
Also, this is Sanjana.
Yeah.
She's a co-executive director.
I was gonna say, give a hand.
Hey.
Yeah, I was just here to shout out, but they're the best.
We learn from the best.
Yes.
So yeah, enjoy. Have a great night. Hey.
All right, bye.
Are we seeing you, Blaze?
Yes.
Yay!
Hopefully, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
We oh, okay, great. Yeah, we just want to also put up some stuff here of like how you can think about like some questions that you can think about as you're like reading their website and stuff of what can help you create a product for them that will that they will use and like will help them get further.
Yeah.
And yeah, like throughout.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And kind of just to clarify how the timeline will work is that kind of Alex showed you guys like the problem statement and project scope. That's what you guys will receive after this bootcamp, or actually during this bootcamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when you know who your nonprofit is and what your initial scope is. So these are the questions like that prep you for your first nonprofit call.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. So like, Alex did go over like what he got before he like got to call the nonprofit. We will be giving you like a document of like a page of like, because we've talked to the nonprofits and we picked them because we believe we can help them with something. So we do give you a scope you'll be working with. So you do have, you're not starting from scratch, but there might be points during the project where like that scope can change or they want to add new stuff. So we will try to help you through the bootcamp for that. And
I mean, we
Yeah.
can, yeah,
Yeah.
these are just examples of questions like emails that we were sending of just pestering these people with questions like,
like over
You know,
the years, yeah,
yeah.
just stuff that came up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then wait, before I go to this real quick, I know you guys are taking video photos, that's completely fine, but we will also be sharing slides and everything with you guys. So just wanted to let you know. Yeah, so a little more information of common like pitfalls and red flags that happen. The solution first mindset. Even though we do give you like which footing you need to go upon, we do not believe that you should just take it and go along. That's why we're saying to call the nonprofit, talk with them, understand them, try to see the bigger view of it than just leaning in on the solution and being like, okay, I have to build this. We're gonna just build it. That's also coming from computer science because we do that sometimes. But yeah, having the red flags is solution first mindset. No, don't do that. No clear end user. You are building this for them to use, and they do use it. Like nonprofits we work with, if they have problems, they come back and we fix it. And they continue using stuff we build. So it is helping people and misaligned expectations and scope and timeline. This goes back to communication. Communication is a huge thing with the nonprofit and your team, making sure you guys are on the timeline that's given to you, even if it's like, even if you're falling behind, I feel like you do work it out. But yeah, and then pitfall, don't overpromise. Yeah, definitely start with the lower side, and then if you can add, if you have time, you will have fun with it. Don't literally don't stop asking why. Question them on like why you need this, or if you wanted this, like why would you not want to have another? I want to say another like product, not
Feature?
product. Yeah, yeah. And then skipping synthesis, wait, this one I was a little confused on, but
It's okay. I'll just, the only thing I would like also just add as a supplement to this, you guys are in a little bit of an interesting position being PMs in that your primary responsibility is to represent the nonprofit, but you also have to keep in mind that you're sort of in the middle because you're also representing your team. And so the purpose of this slide is to also just remind everybody that at the end of the day, you should stick up for your team. So if they're asking the nonprofit when you're gathering requirements, they might ask for something that's, I mean, just out of the blue, like they're just pulling it out, and saying, "Oh, I want you to build this." And it might be completely unrealistic. And so you sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, but depending on the nonprofit that you work with, you might have to put your foot down in a polite way and say, like, actually, this is our scope, this is our timeline. I need to make sure that I'm putting the right workload, like, I'm not stringing out my developers to dry type of thing, and making sure that you keep them happy. Because at the end of the day, you also need the developers and designers to actually make the product for you that you're ultimately responsible for. So you're responsible for the product that gets delivered, but you have to kind of pull strings to make that happen. So
Yes.
yeah.
Double checking, skipping synthesis, what does that mean?
So like in other words, like don't try to just like assume that you're in sync with what they're saying. Like assumption, like there's a saying about assuming, right? Like don't assume. Because if you assume that you know exactly what they want to build and you don't follow up with them, you don't communicate with them, then all of a sudden you're going to be two sprints, say like a month of development goes by, you meet with the nonprofit again, and then when you meet with the nonprofit, they're like, this is not what I was expecting to be built. So you really kind of have to keep up and don't assume that you're, constantly in synthesis with everything that's going on, always be questioning and like iterating off of what your idea or assumptions are. Yeah, that's a good question though.
Any other questions? No, cool. So I know some people came in, one person came in late, or basically at the start, I did say we're sharing a Google Drive with you guys where we're gonna have stuff for this boot camp. There's templates and stuff. So I'm gonna come around again, and if you haven't been shared with this, we're gonna add you.
I would say the next activity requires everyone with their laptop, so feel
Yeah.
free to pull that up, and then I will be.
Yeah, so yeah.
Let us do this.
So yeah, please pull out your laptops. We have a bootcamp template that we've created for you guys where each week, basically, we have a template of like structured. So you can put your notes there. You can, follow along with the activities that we have in class, whatever, boot camp, as we go along. So yeah, go ahead, find it. If you can't find the document, please let us know, because this is going to be kind of your like the main document that you're going to be using throughout this boot camp. Okay.
Anybody else?
And we'll just check back in like 1 or 2 minutes to make sure you guys have everything set up.
And once you do make a copy, please put your first and last name on the title so we know whose it belongs to.
We should come over and help you guys actually, because that can be confusing.
Yeah.
It's a good point. Yeah.
Let's just go around. It's all good.
Matthew, you're good? Yeah. Okay. And
Right.
Okay, you got it?
Yeah. Sorry.
Ashley did it, so I'm gonna. Okay.
Are we sharing it with
Yes, that's a great point. Thank you. When you do create a copy, please make sure that it's within the folder, within the shared folder.
Yeah.
Because the purpose is that everybody will have access to it. The intention for that is twofold. One, we want to make sure that we hold everybody accountable because we actually want you doing it. And then two, that way we can bounce ideas off of each other. So, yeah.
Okay. We'll just wait a couple minutes, but
Oh yeah, by the way, it does not look like this. This is a different thing.
Yeah,
But we just put it up there.
I don't know why.
it's my fault. I put a random photo on the
You're
top.
good.
Yeah.
So this is our activity time because it's
Yay.
enough of us talking, and actually we want to simulate what it will be like when during the week 3 of our boot camp, where you guys will be getting the project scope document, which will include the nonprofit description, contact information, and problem, as well as the project scope that we will be given to you guys. And that's how we were given also when we started this, not as a PM. So all of you guys today will be working on my nonprofit, Central Coast Heritage Tree Foundation. And if you want to go on the next slide,
I'll let you.
I have sent in the project scope and the Cal Poly PM, CPPM's Slack, so feel free to open that up as well. I want you guys to pair up. I know we will have a team of 3, but find a partner, read through the entire scope, and what you will be tasked to do is to first draft up your first email to the nonprofit to set up a meeting next week, and you can make up a date and time and send it to my email. Second, research your nonprofit, so Central Coast Heritage Tree Foundation. And lastly, draft up your first meeting agenda and questions for the nonprofit. So let me know if you guys got the project scope in Slack, and then feel
If
free
you
to
don't have
start.
Slack, it is on the template too. It's named Bootcamp Activity Week.
Yeah. And start finding a partner and maybe just reading through the project scope together. Take your time and then draft up all these tasks within. We'll give you guys more minutes.
If you guys are fine to do it, yeah.
Blame for like 6:55.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we play music for the?
Yeah, go.
Yeah.
Actually, here.
Oh, everything's manually done.
I need to write down everything on here.
So between partner, maybe make a shared doc between you guys and then write down the questions because we're gonna have to share out in 10 minutes.
We share it in the bootcamp folder or do you share it in person?
I was gonna say just write the notes in the template.
Okay, yeah.
'Cause I know we have
Never mind.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Never mind.
Yes. Yeah, I was
yeah.
gonna say, so everything goes in that template.
Okay.
If we assign something to you, it's going to be in that template.
Yeah.
And there should be a designated section. If there's not, put it in the notes section and you can just label it individually.
Okay.
You can,
Yes.
I guess, also style it yourself if you want to add another section. You're like, we should actually have done that.
Yeah.
We'll do that for next week in class activity.
Yeah.
We should make a Spotify playlist. So we can, yeah, I'll put up.
You will just have what?
Everybody's name.
Brian Matthew, Ashley Soha.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we can hold like.
Here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brian, how do you spell your name?
BRY.
BRY. We know it.
Yeah.
Should we send one email per person or 3?
You can just send it, like one person can send it to.
Oh.
Okay, I was gonna say your email's in there, okay. The teacher.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
E.
It's just but they don't go hall and then.
Yeah.
I got a little. Yeah.
And then Aiden. And then CRs. Yeah. And then we're just missing one who had, she had posture.
Yeah, I just
They could just use the same system. If they've already made it, they can just put it on the side of it.
Yeah, but it's not like connected to the template. Do you see what I'm saying? They've only made a copy of the template to me.
Right. As long as they share, right? They still have access to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe I'm not understanding.
No.
No.
So, you know how we have this thing,
Yeah.
and they've made their own, study in this template. We only have these two. The deeds are not done yet.
Yeah.
Want to switch it more into creating like folders here for week.
Yeah,
And
and then they can
those
just,
your templates in this.
yeah, we could do that. That's better.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll slap them.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I just realized I was like, wait a second.
We send it like a note. I'm
Yeah.
gonna note it down.
I can do it in our outreach.
Okay, if you're noting it, I trust you. So that sounds good to me.
I kind of want to show them, like, even though they're gonna make the PRD, I kind of want to give them like, this is what we end up building.
Yeah,
Okay, so I send in like the. Okay, I don't think anyone needs it. Do you have your Slack?
Yeah.
Somewhere.
here.
I want to see if I can log in.
Okay, like 2 more minutes, then we'll check in with you guys.
Are we feeling good with 2 minutes or need more time? Oh no,
Oh, really?
3 minutes? Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, well.
We're good on time.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're very good on time, yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. That's perfect. We're still early. technically.
Good though, 'cause the definite text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Yourself.
Yes.
You gonna go around?
What's my password?
I was gonna go around, but I'm not.
Go around, go around. Guys,
Maybe
I
give them
forgot my
one.
password.
I'll say it. They just tell them.
Ah,
That's why. Who does that about?
My God, I forgot. Take over today.
Of social media?
Yeah,
Nice.
summer, it worked.
so do we wanna? Do you wanna be on it?
Like us?
Yeah.
Back, back? Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
I'll ask, if not them, I'll do a 3.
Yes.
Okay. I got Ashley's.
Yes, okay.
We're Ashley and Sophia, we're excited for none of your availability. Yes.
We also have Sydney's. Thank you.
Yeah. First I coffee for I'm thinking of tour. Yeah. Maybe we can give feedback.
Bye. Okay.
And then I kind of want to see if you can.
This one. Yeah.
Where's Slack?
So
If I wonder if you can view it. Oh. Okay, this is good.
nice.
Do we need more time? 2 minutes more?
How many emails do we have?
We have
got-
3.
We have 3. So Brian and Matthew, Sydney, yes, Ashley, yes.
Okay.
Okay, awesome.
Just one more email. I wish I could show the email, but it's okay. I'm just gonna.
Oh,
Oh, their emails?
Yeah.
You can really quickly. You wanna just create another page here?
you can always like pick one that you like. And
Yeah,
share it
yeah,
and
I
then
like
read
that.
it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yes.
Or something that.
You guys sent it?
Yeah.
You're good? Okay. Okay.
Perfect.
And then how are we looking on the questions? Good, bad, ugly? Good. Not ugly, but good-ish? Okay. Okay.
It's very low stakes.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay. In 1 minute, we're gonna come back. They're done. Hello.
Hi, tech leads.
How's it going?
We'll be done in like 20.
Yeah.
20?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, fine, you can feel it in 15. We'll try.
So should we just go?
Yeah.
Or should we, yeah.
You guys should
Okay.
just.
Okay, well, I'm freaking
Recording still.
converting my like recording right now. I'll just
Well,
walk
if you
with
wanna come
my
in.
I'll walk with my laptop. Okay, well, I guess I'll meet you guys there. I'm Amanda, by the way. I'm the tech advisor.
Yeah, she is.
Okay,
Yeah.
see you at Blaze, hopefully.
Yeah.
But
She's what is it?
She's like-
our tech leads right now.
she's
Yeah.
like
The
the
tech lead of the tech lead?
Yeah, exactly.
like the
she's open.
equivalent for us, but for
Yeah.
tech leads. So the tech lead,
Yeah.
the tech leads are right next door.
Yeah.
So starting next week, actually, we're gonna do a little collaboration. Because you're gonna be working with them, so we wanna introduce everybody early.
Yeah, just starting next week, there will be way more technical stuff that we probably are gonna throw at you, but this today is just a very overview of what you can expect in the beginning. So, all right, we're gonna come back because we don't want to hold you guys any longer. Also,
On the side of what you like about
oh, it's a little bit. Oh,
What's wrong? What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to show this slide.
Which slide is it?
It should be the next one, but I think you need a reload.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's see.
Okay, but
28, here you go.
from all the emails so far, you guys have done a great job on introducing yourself. I picked Brian and Matthew's example to showcase because just one thing too that they did well is that they mentioned like their availability, that they're available after 5 p.m. You want to let your nonprofit know when you're available and what's the potential time. So, but
but generally everyone have said pretty much the same structure. So amazing job. And then I guess our next thing is our share out. So I guess let's start off with what was your meeting agenda you have with your nonprofit, the first call? Do you want to start with?
In terms of like
Yeah.
categories, like
Yeah.
of the agenda.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was actually just kind of getting started writing a little bit, but I don't know like what phase, like if this is too early, but I was
Mhm.
writing down like priority of certain features that I noticed in their like they have like several different features outlined in
Yeah.
the project.
Yeah.
I'm kind of wondering like for each of these, like what, like are they all trying to solve like the same business like goal? Like what's kind of their underlying goal behind the reason why they suggested certain solutions, like
Yeah.
you know, building that interface for the public versus for their internal
Yeah.
their internal users, and then also
Mhm.
kind of I was also curious like I wrote down like what does their process look like?
Mhm.
Because it
Mhm.
says like manually on paper, but
Yeah.
what is that process?
That's
what would you think
Mhm.
would be through the digital system?
Yeah, then like, I guess afterwards, like once they break down like all the processes,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then we go on like more specific details, like what are the sub processes, like what do they want to prioritize,
Mhm.
and like are there any specific features? Because like we'll have like a project like document,
Yeah.
like listing out like what we want to do,
Mhm.
and then like if they have any specific things, like any specific designs,
Mhm.
storyboards, or any like
Mhm.
anything that they want to be implemented outside of the document that we have, that we can
Mhm.
implement. And
Can you
I
give an
guess-
example of what feature it mentioned on there?
I guess like
Yeah.
there's one big one. Sorry.
You're good.
But for example, like in their interface,
Yeah.
like when they ask like for the volunteers to enter like the tree count like
Yeah.
for data.
Yeah.
I feel like there'll be like specific ones like
Mhm.
what the tree looks like and
Yeah.
all that other stuff. But then like is there anything specific that we haven't caught
Yeah.
they would want? in
Yeah.
there? And then that way like we cover all the bases of like what their vision looks like, and then we can implement through our vision too.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
I'll just hear from everyone and then show you guys my process and my comments. So we'll have Ashley go.
We had a really like kind of just broad.
Yeah,
agenda.
no.
We started with just an introduction, like
Yes.
obviously you want to make like a good connection.
Yes.
And then discussing the current state of their nonprofit, even though we've done some prior research to kind of get
Yeah.
your perspective on it.
Mhm.
And then kind of starting to pinpoint goals and then and state objective.
Yeah.
And then also seeing like if they wanted like a quantitative measurement for their improvement, like if they
Mhm.
talk about like the volunteers that can add input, like if they want to start with a certain amount of volunteers, but then end with a different amount of volunteers,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then like after that, I feel like a lot of it you kind of have to figure out what you were able to do and then get back to them later with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got the whole gist of it. Love it.
Yeah.
And we'll add on. So how do you have anything to add?
That's perfect.
Okay, perfect. I'll have this team share.
Yeah, so our agenda, we get also started with just introductions.
Mhm.
And we had like a few questions, kind of just like clarifying about product, what they want, and like what their current some like situation is with like the paper.
Yeah, yeah.
And then like we had like an action item, like scheduling a follow up like 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
So we could like discuss like our take of things.
Mhm. Yep. I'll have that.
I saw this several videos and diving into the questions to understand more about what they want.
Mhm.
So you mentioned they want to digitize their like platform because it's all on paper right now.
Yeah.
So kind of ask them more questions about that, what type of data they want to collect, what
Yeah.
type of look like,
Yeah.
and go from there and ask them.
Exactly. You guys genuinely got the whole picture of it, but I'll just go into detail what exactly I did because this was my nonprofit and my project last year. So starting off, of course, with my outreach email, I set up my availability time. I gave them 2 slots, and I was very lucky. Kelly was my nonprofit head, and she was the founder, so she was very flexible with me. But what I did before meeting with my nonprofit, I actually met with my designers and tech leads together to come up with more questions for my nonprofit because they have their designer side and they have their tech lead technical sides. Then scheduled a meeting with everyone, so including the designers, tech leads, and also director of product. So you will include one of us. One of us will be in charge of overseeing your nonprofit and your project. So
make sure to invite us. And then moving into the prep part, for my project, after looking through like the Central Coast Heritage Foundation websites, I just learned about like where they're from, what does the nonprofit actually do. Then I looked into what our current digital inventory system looked like and tree inventory specifically. Are there any current inventory system out there already? And what can I learn from that? And through that, I learned, like, discover that there's typically in this digital inventory system, there's an admin view and a user view, and that was very helpful for me when I go in and ask my questions. And then for the interactive map feature, that was a huge part on the project scope that I read. So then I also just did kind of like online research. Are there currently any map on there on the online right now? So I was able to find Planet Geo and EcoSlow, which on the right you can see kind of like what a map pin interactive map could look like. So these are all things I did before going into my first nonprofit meeting. And then this is my meeting agenda that I actually found from like last year, November, which was really nice to see, look back what I did. So of course, everyone said introductions. You really want to get to know your nonprofit and build that relationship from the start. You then go into clarifying scopes, telling them what you already know, and ask the questions and making sure tech leads and your designers get to ask their questions also. Then afterwards, this is something that I don't think anyone mentioned, but just giving your nonprofit an overview of your project timeline and expectations from the team. You'll be meeting with them probably bi-monthly, doing like monthly demos to make sure what you're designing aligns with what they want. And then confirmation. So lastly, personally, I send meeting recap and action items from my end, and I want during the first project meeting, I asked a lot of things that I want from her, like documentation. So I also send up a follow-up email after my first meeting. So what questions did I actually ask? First introduction, I asked about their involvement with the nonprofit and what does she do. So she was the founder. She basically gave me a whole rundown of the history of Central Coast Heritage Foundations. Then specifically for each of these features or like kind of the questions, like everyone said, what is the current process? I asked her, can you help me walk through the volunteer tree planting and tracking process right now? And why do volunteers even need to track trees? What is it used for? How often do they update the inventory sheet? Who reviews the inventory sheet? What is on the inventory sheet that they track? And can you give us the current tree data in the inventory, any current documents that fits within the process? And that was so important because that really helped me, like, okay, this is what they need. This is what I'm gonna digitalize. So knowing what current process is, it's so important. And then as for the interactive map, I asked what would be the goal of this interactive map. My answer from her was basically this would be like an educational and for visibility. And would you want to link to the current website under what page? Kind of just like the logistics part. But essentially, what you need to get out of your first nonprofit goal is who is going to be my users for the web that I'm developing or an app that I'm developing. What will be the goal for this app? There's going to be probably several goals. So for the nonprofit that you guys just researched into, the goal was one for volunteers to track the trees, the other for admin to review the tree inventory data. And there's so much more, but that's actually your guys' homework next week. But essentially, why is this a goal? Just understanding the backstory really help you to like be in their shoes. What would be the priority? So kind of like what Matthew was saying, kind of like knowing what features you want to prioritize. During my process building the whole entire system, we realized even though in like the interactive map was something that they want in the beginning, that was the least priority that we have. We really needed to get like the whole like volunteer tracking the tree build out and for admin for the nonprofit to review the tree inventory. Those were actually the priority other than the interactive map. How is the process currently done? This is so important. Make sure to ask this. And any way you can walk me through the process step by step. And what actually ended up happening is I was able to visit her in person and just going through that whole entire volunteer tracking, like training, and actually track the tree myself, which was fantastic. And I think that really speak to the success of like the solution we were able to build. But in terms of what I actually did after the first call, I compiled a detailed note and shared it with my designers and tech lead. This isn't the product, this isn't the PRD, but it's just kind of my notes after talking to her. And went to meet nonprofit in person to go through the entire volunteer training and tree tracking. This isn't something that everyone can do, but I was very lucky. If you have a chance, definitely do that. And I did send a meeting recap and action items and begin preparing the product requirement roadmap. So the PRD that you guys will be learning next week. So with that, I actually want to show you guys what we end up building so you guys can get excited what is possible with Hack for Impact. So kind of an overview of the tree inventory system we built. This is the admin side, meaning this is a nonprofit. This was kind of the interactive tree pin that they were talking about. So any trees that the volunteer track, they get to see on the map. And this is actually in Templeton, which is up 30 minutes from SLO. From an admin point of view, they can see their tree inventory very quickly. And then they have all the information. They can know who tracked the trees, how well is the tree condition, and so on and so forth. Kind of from the volunteer side too. What we end up doing, how they can track the tree is they can use this form, get their current locations, because that's something very important, and then track the tree type, and then track anything, and then submit the form, and it goes to the tree inventory. So
Can I just mention something real
yeah,
quick?
yeah.
So one thing I just want to point out, just to note, and I learned this the hard way after my project last year, because if you saw my project last year, it's not nearly as comprehensive as this one. That's to say that specificity matters. We're going to teach you that when we go into the PRD for next week. But I just want to reiterate, you are the person that is defining what is getting built. So this right here, this is Eugene. This is Eugene specifying this. Yeah, I mean, it was you. It was you specifying we need a way to track the tree inventory, and it's going to be a table. It's going to look like this, whatever. You have to be very specific with what gets built and sometimes even how it gets built. So anyway, I just want to emphasize specificity is everything. And that comes from understanding what the client needs, like we said, but try to be as specific as possible in the questions that you ask and in your documentation, which we'll get to next week.
Yeah, and this is genuinely so rewarding because there wasn't anything like this before that they were using. It was genuinely by paper. And one thing I can just point out, what I learned, what was so good talking to my nonprofit, knowing the why that they track their trees, is that because they sent the tree data back to the government and city planning to really help them like know what's going on with like the city. So what I like learned is that for Kelly to have able to export data from this tree inventory is so important. So then I really emphasize that she needs to be able to just export it to Excel sheet immediately. And that's what the feature is. So that's one example of how talking to a nonprofit can really get to all the features that she wants. So yes, with that, we do have homework for you.
It's not that bad.
It is really not that bad.
But
you guys kind of got a sneak peek of what the solution I built up, but we will be posting the nonprofit kickoff meeting notes, kind of like what I've got out of my first nonprofit meeting call. And then you guys will be reading through that, review next week's slide and PRD materials. So we'll also be posting that by tonight, hopefully. Yeah. And then you will be compiling a PRD for Central Coast Heritage Tree Foundation. Slack me if you have any clarifying questions you need for your PRD and prepare to present your PRD next week. But again, this is a very low stake. We're going to be going into detail on what an actual PRD should look like next week, but this is just for you guys to know before what to.
Want to pick out your brains and
Yeah.
get it started.
Yeah, because it is a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, key takeaway. Like you guys all put in the initial interactive activity, communication is key. So if you ever have any questions, ask the nonprofit, ask the tech leads, ask your designers, ask us. We're here to help you. Yeah. And we're a team, and you are the future leaders of your team because you will be literally leading a team of 16 people, and that is super impressive. So be proud of that. And then I guess we want to turn it back to you guys for questions and answers. And then we'll just briefly talk about our experience and then go to Blaze Pizza. Yeah. Okay.
Do you guys have any
Questions so
before?
far?
Nothing.
Nothing. Yes.
So, once we get our projects, like, do we get to pick, or are we gonna be assigned to one? Same with the team members as well.
Yes, so that's why you will get to meet the tech leads before we send out an interest form. Where, so if you have any friends in tech leads, you can like put it down like, oh, I would like to work with them. Or if you don't, we will assign you to random people. But for the interest form, we will be introducing the nonprofits we have to you guys before that and give you like a couple days to like think about it, research them and everything. And I think we make you choose your top 3. And we try to put you guys with your top 2 at least. But
Yeah, so
yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, you're right on. Basically the agenda, the PRD is the homework.
Yes.
So we have that, and we can be a resource in case you miss something or if you need an extra resource, whatever. PRD is the homework. Next week we're gonna do a collaborative thing with the tech leads. The idea is to introduce everybody. That way you guys get to know the people that you're potentially working with. And with that, we're also going to be introducing the nonprofits that we'll be working with this year that we've worked to source over the summer and kind of just give you an overview. After next week's meeting, you guys will be able to fill out that form that Ansta mentioned and yeah, pick your top, your preferences, and then we'll match you accordingly. So yeah, good question though. Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, do you want to go through these? Very quickly.
Is it just like our experience last year?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I kind of already explained my experience last year, but yeah, I worked with the Paso Robles Food Co-op, which just as a heads up is also an option to work with this year, and I'm going to be on that, like helping out basically. So if you end up choosing that nonprofit, I'll be helping you. Pretty much last year I showed you the prompt that we were given. We ended up getting very creative with the tech leads and creating a member referral platform. So essentially you could go in and the existing member could go in, put in, say, like a friend's email, it pings them. We've created an email template, and then from there, they can go in and it generates a referral code, like a unique referral code for the referee, like the person that you're referring. And then that new person could go into the sign up sheet for the food co-op, and they could take that referral code and redeem it for a potential prize or whatever, which the nonprofit was already doing. So that was our thought at the time. They're already doing it, so let's just incorporate a referral code. We'll pass that in. They could win a bottle of wine or whatever I don't know. They wanted to give away engraved bricks, apparently. That was the thing too. But anyway, so
What's your biggest takeaway?
biggest takeaway.
From that.
Biggest takeaway, definitely specificity and structure. That's my weakness, definitely, like up front. And that's something that you need to be as a PM, is as structured and specific as possible. Because you're the one that's running things logistically. Your team isn't going to be on call necessarily immediately to you. They're not going to be pinging you every day saying, oh, wait, am I supposed to do this? Am I supposed to do that? But what your job is to do is to structure things so that they know this is the deadline that we need to get this done by. This is, when the call date is. This is when our midway demo is. This is the plan. Like you're doing all the logistics. So the more structure and specifics you can take, the better. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll be very brief and quick. Biggest takeaway, make besties with your designers and your tech leads. They are going to be your best friend and will
help you throughout the entire process. And then also, again, build that relationship with your nonprofit. It's going to go a long way. And then challenges I face, definitely realizing how much testing and debugging you need to account for as like spring quarter comes, but we'll talk about that in the later boot camp. But there is so much like testing and just debugging that's needed for a solution to actually work out. So really having that in mind, like planning for that. That's the challenge that I face.
Yeah. Yeah, as I said, I worked with Parklands, Conservatory. We built a not volunteer, sorry. I'm mixing it up with this a registration portal for them where they can like sign their waivers online and register for like their summer events of like parents trying to sign their kids up for summer school and stuff. I don't want to take too much time, so I'm keeping it brief, but you will hear us talk about our nonprofits over the boot camp, go more detail and stuff as we do. But biggest takeaways, honestly, yeah, keeping a good relationship with the nonprofit, and communicating, because one of the challenges I faced was, communication with the team. Like Alex said, they will not ping you. You have to ping them. You have to ping them maybe 5 times a day. Be like, hey guys, when are we meeting? Yeah, just talk, be organized for sure. And have an agenda made for yourself maybe per week. Be like, I need to reach out to them. I have these meetings. I need to get this done. And yeah.
Yeah, that's all we have for you guys. For next week, we're looking into user research and learning PRD. So
Yeah.
get excited. It's a lot of designs and
And now,
understanding. Yes,
pizza,
pizza time.
if you're coming with us.
Is anyone planning on coming? It's okay. Yeah. Yay.
Yeah.
Okay. But thank you guys.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
So nice to meet you all.
We're so excited. We really are. Like we have to have structure, but we're super excited. Like
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
So
We have a
Yeah.
really good scope for all the nonprofits.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Bye, Ashley.
Bye.
Nice one.